steering at his brother now. 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 Steering at his brother now.
Hello everyone and welcome back. After a week's break, we're back for Season 5 here in Formula 2 at the Formula 1 Racing League. So we're here in Sakir for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's going to be nighttime set due to some people within the grid wishing it to be so. So we've got a nighttime race here in F2. So we're going to quickly remind ourselves of the top 3 here. So it's going to be FZR Igor in the Campos, setting pole position with a 139.000. To be on Kenobi in P2, closely followed by CER Wayardi. Not much in it within the top 3 drivers. It's 2 temps in total between all those 3, so it should be an interesting rundown into turn 1. So we'll definitely see how that one goes. Our last season champion, which was Charlie 106 TT, he, fortunately enough for him, did manage to make it up to Formula 1. Now he's racing for the Renault team, so he'll be racing tomorrow, but congratulations to him winning the Formula 2 championship. So let's see who can win the Season 5. So we're just waiting for all the drivers to select the final few changes before we head under for formation lap here under the floodlights of Bahrain. Should be an interesting race. There are a few new drivers making their way to the grid this time. A few debuts. We do have DJ coming down from F1. Same thing with Toby One Kenobi. Both those two did manage to make it up into F1, but have chosen to make their way back down to F2. So I'm not sure if they just preferred it in the F2 environment. But we'll definitely see how they do today. For some reason, these cars sound extremely loud, so we're going to turn them down a bit. They seem very, very loud. There we go, that's a lot better now. So we can see the Campos weaving a lot. Almost off the track. There is car number... He is really trying to get some heat into those tyres. So it only looks like one driver is starting on the hard compound, and that is going to be CER Wyardi. So he's always one to start on a different tyre compound, as we've seen in the previous seasons when he has been here, and that is Storm Twister disconnecting from the session there. So we'll quickly dispatch an invite to him. Let's just quickly get one out to him just before the end of the formation lap, so we don't have any disadvantage for him. No, I've clicked the wrong button there. Hold on a second. So Bahrain, when we head down to turn 1, it should be quite an interesting turn because it is really tight. You can't hit with too much speed, and it is a long run down there, so it's going to be a bit of a slipstream train on the way down. So that will be quite interesting to see. That Storm Twister connecting once again. He is P6, but this looks like it could be a very good outing by both of the Race Labs cars, both in the top 5. Only 2 drivers separate, and that is me, Wadey. He's always been a quick driver. He's came back after, I believe, 2 seasons break here. He tried having a go at managing, and he's obviously strayed from that path now. Now back in the Dams car, back where he did start in this league. But we'll see what happens towards turn 1. That is Jackson and Hayes. They're going to be rounding off the back of the grid. But the final car lining up is going to be Storm Twister. So that is going to be the MP Motorsport finding his place on the grid as we get ready for lights out here in Bahrain. 5 lights are on. Fortunately, a bit of a glitch there. That's going to be CER Wyardi getting a bit of a head start there. So the drivers are now revving their engines up for the 5 red lights, and we're underway here in Bahrain. It seems like a very good start by FZR Igor heading towards turn 1. There's like a bit of a lag spike from the driver behind, but that looks like it's going to be Igor trying to keep P1, but it looks like it is a hectic crash into turn 1. And that is Igor dropping all the way down to P14 on the grid. Toby One Kenobi now leads this race in the Race Lab car, but it does look like Jackson has made up a huge amount of positions from the start of the race as he gets overtaken by Wispy Jaguar on the inside, but Jackson going to fight it back now, trying to keep P6 in this race, but it looks like it is going to be the Tarou's driver's position. James Petty looking just to try and keep P4, but there goes F9 Lewis down the inside. Very, very clean move. Can he just make it stick? Because here comes James once again in the Prima car, looking down the inside. Very, very hard braking zone, and he looks like he's made the move happen. Very, very good by him, but there is C5 solo off the track. That's definitely going to be an exceeding track limit warning, as F9 Lewis looking to make up some more places on the grid now. Storm Twister looked to have been round at one point. Igor looking to get back into this race. There is a position change between TTM Hayes and Jackson. Jackson really getting the shoulders out, making sure to not leave any room at all for his rival, trying to really aggressively defend that P8, which will become P1 in the feature race. But here they go towards the final turn of this lap, and it is going to be Hayes pulling out there, and that is Jackson. Very, very silly move, and he has moved down into P12, and that is going to be him going into the pits. And that is a 5-second time penalty. I would not be surprised if that is a retirement from Jackson Dog there, but it looks like he's going to stay with this one. Toby still leading the field with a 1-second time margin to Wadey just behind him. Going through the rest of the grid, Mab looking to trying to get into P9, but it looks like it's not going to be happening just yet. TTM Hayes looking to get past P7 now. So is he going to be able to carve out a move here? Doesn't look like he is so far. He's going to have to stay just behind Wispy. Wispy, whoa, and that is TTM Hayes getting the braking zone all wrong there. And that is an end plate missing off the front of his Trident now, and he's really going to have to push hard to try and make it back up those positions, because there goes Mab down the inside, and that is someone else around there. F9 Lewis has retired from the race. He is in the wall over there. I'm not too sure what happened to him. CR Wayadi is still lagged out the session. We're going to quickly try and get him in because he was up there. Let's try and get him in ASAP. There we go. So he is in the session now, or should be. But it's still a sector 2 yellow flag. Toby's still got a lead. He's managed to get out to 1.5 seconds, so he is fine now. DJ looking to try and get into P4. James Petty in front of him with a time penalty. I'm going to assume it's a 3-second. But we can check soon enough. Igor moving past Hayes as Hayes has to pit for that wing damage that he did occur with going into the back of Wispy, who has continued on because he did not get any wing damage from that incident. DJ in the DRS range. He seems to be one of the only drivers to be in the DRS range of the driver ahead. So let's see if he can manage to get into P4 here. James won't give this position up easily. So it's Prima versus Race Labs as we're heading towards a hairpin. It's not going to be a move by DJ. He's going to stay behind the Prima driver at the moment. So far it's a 3-4 for Prima. That could be an amazing result for the start of the season. There he comes. He's going to get DRS once again. James is not going to have it. So 5 tenths behind. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make the move, but we're about to find out as they're heading towards the end of the DRS zone, and it's not going to be any move salvaged there, unfortunately. So let's see if he can maybe get a move done. He's all over the back of that Prima, practically pushing him into sector 3 now. Tried to go down the inside, but there weren't enough room to stick his Race Lab car. James really squeezing him out to the inside line, making sure he has to take such an acute angle at this corner, and it seems to not have worked. He's had a bit of a slide at the rear end, but DJ is going to get the crucial DRS. James can try and stay with him, but he's got DRS as well, so it's going to literally be a drag race heading towards turn 1 here. DJ has the inside line, James has the outside line, and DJ still going for the dive, and he's not managed to make it work. James is going to hold on to that P4 at the moment. That's some really good racing between these two. But DJ's not going to let that one slide easily as he's coming straight back at him into the second DRS zone here at Bahrain, and he's looking down the inside, and it looks like he has managed to get that move done and dusted. I wouldn't say that too soon because James is not far behind. He's definitely making it hard work for DJ. He doesn't want him to get through easily. Looking through the rest of the grid, we have Igor catching up to his teammate here. Are any team orders gonna be applied? Remember, Igor did manage to put it on pole position, I believe. Yeah, pole position for Igor, so I'm assuming he will want to be past his teammate as quickly as possible, so we'll see if there's any team orders applied there. James still not too far away. He's managing just to keep in that DRS range, but DJ is showing some good pace, trying to get into P3 and catch up to James's teammate, who is slowly fading away from Wadey just up the road. Toby, unfortunately, is not going... Well, I say unfortunately, it's unfortunate for us in the commentary box, but he is 1.8 seconds clear of Wadey at the moment. We know Wadey's got pace. But does he have 1.8 seconds worth? Because Toby is not showing any intention of slowing down. But here comes Igor, looking at Wheat just ahead of him, going to the inside line. Doesn't look like Wheat's off defensive at all. It looks like it's gonna let this one happen, as that's the fastest lap set by Igor as well. And going into turn 1, that's going to be an easy move. It looks like Wheat did not fight that as much as he could have. But is he going to come back at him? That is the question. It doesn't look like he will. He does have the DRS, and here he comes. Is he going to look to the inside line? No, he's going to back off. He's let go of the throttle there. He does not want to overtake his teammate. He's choosing to stay behind. Storm managing to get back in some of this action, chasing down the driver ahead of him in the Charoos. Bit wide by Wispy Jaguar. He's gone and got a 3-second time penalty because of it. Storm looking to the inside. There was no room there for him, and he is going to have to back out of that one, and it's almost cost him a second, and it has cost him over a second. Is he still going to be in that DRS range? He's going to want to hope so, but he's not. We've gone past the activation zone, and it is 1.1 seconds difference, which is very, very unfortunate for the MP Motorsport driver, but he stuck his nose in somewhere where it was not welcome, unfortunately. So let's see if he can maybe get up into P7 in this race. Looking through the rest of the grid, Hayes really starting to close up to Miles. Miles is lagging a bit for us. I'm not sure if he'll be lagging for the other drivers, but from start to finish it looks like he has not had the greatest connection. But there's me, Wadey, setting the fastest lap of the race, really trying to catch up now, and it's a drag race between these two to the final corner of the race, and that is a really tight squeeze by Storm, making Jaguar have to cut the corner. He's going into the pit trying to get the undercut on the MP Motorsport driver, who's going to continue on for another lap. Wheat, sorry, Wispy Jaguar did manage to go and get a 5-second time penalty because he did speed into the pit lane there. Miles looks to be overtaken by Hayes. Unfortunately, we did miss that move, but it has been done very quickly. And there we go. Wayardi finally joining back the session after we invited him. So he has got a lot of ground to make up now, especially since he started on the hard compound, so he could have been really in a good position now. So looking through the rest of the grid, here comes James, chasing down Wheat just ahead of him. Can he look to the inside? No, he's way too far back. He's going to have to just follow behind the Campos for now. But hopefully we might see a move done by the Prima driver just shortly. So car number 21, he's been showing some decent pace here today. He was in P4 at one point, fighting away with DJ, who is currently in P3. So we have 2 race lab cars in the top 3. This could be a very, very strong result for the race labs, so we'll definitely see what they can do. But here comes Toby. He's choosing to pit this lap. Is Wadey going to follow him in? No, he's going to continue. He thinks his tyres feel fine, and there he goes. DJ doesn't have much of a choice unless he wants to double stack, which is never a great idea in this game or in real life, quite frankly. Igor moving up into P3. Toby has finally been released from his pit box. Storm is going to choose to come in and pit. Where is C5 Solo going to come? It doesn't look like he's going to get the overtake on Toby, so he's going to remain P5 when he gets back Storm Twister, who is currently in the pit lane. Now, hasn't Wayardi grabbed control of that car? It looks like he has, so he's going to have to be on an absolute hunt in order to get back into some solid point scoring positions this race. He still has a pit stop left. He's going to be on the faster compound at the end of the race, but is that going to be enough to really push him up the order? I don't think it will, unfortunately. Looking just up the road though, we can see James still fighting away with Wheat just ahead of him, and that is Mab just getting past Storm Twister. Storm not too far behind at all, and he has overshot turn 1 massively, and it might even compromise him into the DRS range of Jaguar just behind him, as that is Mab getting a 3-second time penalty here. That is never great because not many of these drivers have time penalties on this track, so it shows that they are managing to keep their nose clear. James really wants this move done on wheat, but he doesn't seem to be getting close enough. It seems like the DRS zones are the only reason he is keeping with the driver in front now, as he misses the apex on that corner quite massively, and now he has lost 1.2 seconds. It's the DRS that's going to maybe make him close up to that second mark. But if that doesn't happen, which it doesn't look like it has, he might not be able to catch him back up, and that's Igor getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane now. DJ in the pits, Wadey in the pits. Who's going to come out on top? Because here comes Toby coming around the final corner, and here he comes foot flat to the floor, I imagine, in that race labs, and here he comes down the pit straight. Is he going to emerge in P1 again? I think he will. His only competition is going to be me, Wadey, and here he comes out the pit lane now, and there is Toby coming out in P1. That's Jackson Dog around once again, unfortunately for the Carlin driver. And that is not what you like to see at all. Hopefully he can somehow salvage this for himself, but I think his race may be as good as over. Storm still looking to get past Mab, very close to the back of the high-tech. He almost runs into the back of him. He's showing such good pace through that corner. He's got the better grip. He's looking to the inside line, and it doesn't look like Mab can do much about it. He's wheel banging a bit, and he's gone into the back of Storm trying to get the cutback. Storm saw that coming, put his car in the right place, and that is going to be Mab falling down into P10. Jaguar just behind them now, just watching these two fight, and he might be able to get into these point scoring positions if these two continue to do so. That was a bit of a loose of the rear end from Storm, but it doesn't look like it was anything too bad. Now Igor, 5-second time penalty. There's no excuse for getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in a pit lane, so he won't be getting that one removed. As he's chasing down C5 Solo just ahead of him. Oh, almost runs into the back of him. He's really late on the brakes, and he's looking to get into P4. He's in the slipstream. He's going to stay in there just until the DRS detection zone, should I say. And that is Toby with the fastest lap of the race, just to add on to his point scoring. But here he comes. DRS now activated, and he is flying towards turn 1. Can he get a move done on the Prima? It looks like he did. He can. He's still side by side. Now, C5 Solo going down the inside. He's not risking anything. He's risking everything, and he's gone massively wide. As he cuts back onto the track, he's going to be in P5, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a bit compromised to Wheat just behind him in the Campos. And that is someone around. That is Miles. Miles has retired from this race. Miles in the uni has seemed to have lost it going through the long right-hander in sector 2, and it seems he will have just lost his car and spun towards a wall, and at that point you're just a passenger in that. Very unfortunate for him on his debut race in Formula 2. Hopefully we can see a lot more of him in the sprint races. That is Solo losing the rear once again under pressure. He's lost his car twice to both Camposes, and now his teammates all over the back of him. Is he going to waste any time? No, he's going to stay behind him for now. Well, that is very, very unfortunate to see, as we're going to go back to the back of the grid. Jaguar looking to get past Mab, trying to get into the point scoring positions. Both of them have time penalties. I don't know how much each of them are, so we're going to quickly jump onto that. Jaguar has an 8-second time penalty, which is absolutely huge, as there goes Wadey setting the fastest lap of the race. We're going to quickly check on with James, because he is going to have DRS on his teammate now, and it might be an option to even go for a move into turn 1, but I think he will be too far back. You can see the speed increase due to the DRS. It's absolutely massive in F2 cars, and he's gone for a huge lunge on his teammate. Bit of wheel banging, but he's forced him all the way out. He's had to take that corner at an acute angle, and it's going to really compromise his run. And here comes James getting up into P6. And Solo can do nothing about it, as he doesn't even have a DRS. Is he going to go for a dive bomb back on his teammate? No, he's going to think better of it, but James leaves the door open. This is great racing from both Prima drivers, but it looks like it's going to be James coming out of that one on top. Very, very good racing from him. Wayardi still yet to pit on the hard compound. Solo really still trying to forge a move past his teammate, but James putting his car in all the correct places. The racecraft he's showing today is very, very strong compared to last season. Very, very good by him, but all this fighting between both of the Primas has only lost some time to Wayardi in the ART just behind him. So here he comes, car number 5 chasing down the pair of them, and that is not what they would like to see in their rear mirrors. So let's see if they cut the fighting and start trying to work together to try and pull a gap to Wayardi. Remember, he still needs a pit, but if he gets onto that faster compounded tyre and isn't too far away from him, I can guarantee he will manage to get those positions back, as there goes Toby saying fastest lap after fastest lap. He is showing some very good pace. And that might have been why he stepped down from F1, because he just prefers the Formula 2 cars. Bit of a cheer for Prima and Charuz in the chat. But here, as speaking on the Prima, there goes Solo down the inside of James. James can't do much about it. He's going to force him out here. He's going to take the corner just like he would. James has to cut it. James still on the outside of him. Solo on the inside. They're both neck and neck heading into turn 3 here. And it looks like it's going to be Solo's. But James trying to cut back move. Wayardi just behind them. This could end devastatingly for both Prima cars as they're still fighting on against each other going through Sector 2 now. These two cars are not stopping fighting each other. I don't know what's going on in Prima. I don't think there's any team orders, obviously, as both of them just want that track position. But very, very good racing nonetheless. And that is Solo for the second time at the same corner, running wide. And there goes Wayardi, jumps up into P7. Now his target is going to be James, just in front of him. So let's see what he can do. He's on a lot older hard compound tyres. 10 laps he's been on these since the start of the race. And that is a spin. That is Igor. Igor's out of the race. He's been showing some great pace, and he's in the wall over there. He seems to have just lost it. Got it on to the gravel or maybe even the curb, and he's into the wall. That is very unfortunate for the Campos car, and I think that is a safety car. Wayardi will be so delighted to hear that, as he is going to make his one and only pit stop now, and he is going to be on the fastest compound allowed here in Bahrain for the Formula 2. This is huge for him. There's going to be a few other drivers coming into the pits. All of them are going to take their chances to get onto those faster compounded tyre. Jackson's going to continue. He's going to pick up a couple of positions due to the people pitting. Is Mab going to continue? It seems that way. Toby already caught up to the back of the safety car queue. I think the safety car can go another lap before it has to go in. Wadey, Wadey not too happy about the safety car. He doesn't think that worked in his favour at all. Now he has DJ behind him. But Solo, what has he done? I can only assume that is a mistake, and I think it has been. I think when he tried to change to the medium compound, I think he might have slotted it onto the wet compound tyre, because I do not think he meant to do that. He was definitely in contention for points today, and that is going to be the Prima manager absolutely fuming, as he is on the wet compound tyre. If it was raining in Bahrain, we'll probably be very surprised, but I don't think it is going to be happening. Surprisingly, he seems to be handling these tyres quite well. But that's not going to last too long. I'm surprised he hasn't lost a car there. We can see on his dash, those numbers are starting to increase quite rapidly, showing these tyres are not going to be great at all. So he's going to have to pit once again and try and catch up to the safety car queue. Very, very unfortunate by him, and also a bit unfortunate for Hayes, because he's now stuck behind Solo until he pits or catches the safety car queue. Now, where is Solo going to go? Yep, straight into the pit lane. That leads me to believe it was a mistake, and he's going to speed straight into the pit lane. That is going to be another 5-second time penalty for him. So now he is down into P12. If Wayardi can salvage something from this, he is definitely going to be a contender for driver of the day. He was disconnected for half of the race. Currently P10 on the faster compound. Let's see what he can do. Now, I don't think Solo's on the hards as well. I don't know if Solo had a medium compound to go on to. But I think Solo has messed up his chances of scoring points here today, as I think if Hayes catches up now, the safety car will be going in. So unfortunately, I think Solo's chances has ended after such good battling with his teammate. Ran wide on the same corner once again, and that just cost him to lose 2 positions. Safety car comes out, he pits onto the wets. Definitely not what he meant to do, but he went in and changed it instantly. But he's onto the hard compound now, and the 30-second gap to close to Hayes. Hayes isn't going to catch up in time, so the safety car is going to go one more lap, which is going to save Solo a bit. Luckily for him. So we're just going to quickly check through the notifications. So we're just thank you TTM Stenner for the follow 11 minutes ago. Sorry for not mentioning that. Well, thank you for the follow to Formula 1 Racing. If you want to know any of the commands, they should be posted quite often by Streamlabs, but it does seem like someone just got a 5-second time penalty. Someone around Storm, I believe it was Wispy Jaguar, who does not have wing damage fortunately, but I believe he just got a 5-second time penalty. Yep, he's up to 13 seconds worth now. And Storm in AI mode, I can only assume that's him clipping what just happened. Right. So let's see what everyone can do. Jackson, so far going to be starting P1 in the sprint race. That's going to be music to his ears. So just checking the position changes. Toby moved up 1 place. Miwadi 2 places. DJ 2 places. Tippiest Wheat 4 places. Very good drive by him so far. James Petty moved up 2 places. He has been having a great race today. A great start to the season. He had such an awful season last season. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but it is good to see him back in some form of contention. Storm stays away, is in P6. Wispy Jaguar up into P2. Jackson Dog moved up 6 places, and I meant Jaguar moved up 2 places. My bad there. Mab moved up 3. Wayardi lost 7. TTM Hayes up 4. Solo lost 1, as the safety car will be going in this lap. So we're going to get everyone on with tyres. So here we go. When is Toby going to go? And his goal here is just going to be to try and catch everyone off guard, or try and get Miwadi to be passed by DJ, and that is definitely a good one. Tippiest Wheat has got past. DJ is down. DJ has spun it. DJ has lost the car. He's down into P12. That is awful by him. Well, here comes James Petty and Storm Twister. All 3 wide into turn 1. Can Storm get the positions? Bit wheel banging, but luckily these cars are built like bricks. And here comes Storm. It looks like he did manage to get James. Can he get Wheat as well? He's looking to get onto the podium once again here. as he looks around the outside, making him take a really acute angle, giving space, so making sure it is fairly done. And they came together by storm out of this race. He's came together with Tippy's Wheat, and he is out. Going to be no safety car or VSC there. Toby has a 1 second gap to me, Wadey. James Petty is currently on track for a podium this race. Jaguar just behind him though. Jackson also not far back, but Wayardi is showing some great pace. He's on the faster compound to everyone else in front of him. Jackson 12 lap old tyres. Here he comes. Can Wayardi get past him here? It doesn't look like he will be able to. He's going to have one more lap to see how many positions he can make up. Wispy Jaguar still on the back of James. Jaguar has a lot of time penalties, so even if he does clear James, it doesn't seem like it will matter too much, as Jackson is being overtaken by Wayardi now, as there is a bit of contact between the pair of them. I think Jackson will just let that one go. He does have a time penalty, and Wayardi is also on better and fresher rubber than him, as he does go onto the curb a bit there. He's really fighting it, doesn't want to give it to him easily. But Jackson is going to have to give way. He's tucked into the slipstream, and he has been disqualified. It seems he pitted too early, and he has not used the right tyre compounds. So that is a DSQ for Jackson Dog, putting him down to P15. Solo looking to make it up a few more positions. Wispy went for the dive bomb on James, and it looks like he might have the move done. James is going to come fighting back around the outside, but there goes Wispy. James has the inside for the next corner, and here he comes. They're both still neck and neck. James has the move done. Wispy back down the inside. James looking for the cutback, but here comes Wayardi trying to take them both on the outside. Now here he comes. He's going to take one of them to the outside, it looks like, but there goes James, and it is going to be Wayardi staying in P5 for now. But that was a great view we just got there, and we have been requested to show penalties, so we're going to throw penalties on right now. Wayardi still trying to make up a few positions. Remember, this is the final lap of the race. Toby just needs to keep his cool, and he will come across the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. But James still under threat all over the place, and here comes Wayardi down the inside now, looking to finally get the move done, and he's done so. James runs wide, and that is going to be him losing a place to TTM Hayes as well. He's falling down the order very quickly now, but here comes Toby in the race labs to claim P1 here in the Sakir Grand Prix. As he crosses the line, me Wadey in P2. Here comes Wispy Jaguar. 16 seconds of time penalties. That's going to put me Hayes. Actually, Hayes has jumped up into P2. Me Wadey P3. James Petty P4. Mab P5. And that is all I got time to read there. But very strong race by a lot of those drivers. And driver of the day goes to TTM Hayes. And if I'm honest, I do have to agree with that one. He started at the back of the grid, I do believe, and made his way up into P2 eventually due to penalties. But it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get that position. And that is a great race by Hayes. Wayardi had a very strong outing, just unfortunate for his time penalties. Same thing with Jaguar. But very impressive with James managing to pick up the P4. But let's not change. Let's change our attention, should I say, to the winner of the race from the UK. It's going to be Toby One Kenobi in the race labs. Very strong drive from him in this feature race. Now we're going to move on to the sprint race. A few less laps, however, a lot of points still to gather. So on the weekend so far, so here is the results from a feature race, which I'm going to quickly take a screenshot of so we can post that. Here's the results of the weekend so far. So we have Toby picking up 25 points, Hayes 18. Me Wadey getting 17 because he did get the fastest lap of the race. James Petty 12 points. Mab 10 points. Solo 8 points. Tippy's Wheat 6 points. Then it is going to be Wayardi and Igor both getting 4 points because Igor did qualify P1. Unfortunate for him, did come P9. Wispy Jaguar is going to get 2 points, and Storm gets 1 point for finishing with 90, for crashing with 90% of the race completed. So he did manage to salvage 1 point from that race. Very unfortunate for Jackson Dog, though, who did get disqualified from the session due to not pitting at the right time. If you pit too early in an F2 race to try and use your 2 tyre sets, it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So he did unfortunately get the DSQ. I'm gonna run out of water soon. It's very, very intense racing action we've had here for our season opener in Formula 2. But luckily, luckily, there was quite a few DNFs for some of the drivers, which did put some drivers up into points contentions. But let's not rain on their parade. Very, very good race by everyone who did manage to score some points there. Let's hope they can continue this into this race. Wyardi starting on pole, and he is going to be very happy about that one. Let's hope he doesn't disconnect this time, and he should hopefully be able to get this race win under his belt. We know he has pace. Solo. Now, was that why he did not go onto the medium compound? Because he wanted to start the sprint race on fresh mediums. I think he might be able to take these to the end of the race, but he's going to have to make some moves very, very sharply. So I know for a fact at the end of this race, or maybe from lap 8 onwards, the hard tyres are going to be superior to those mediums. So we'll see what happens there, but I think he will be able to take him to the end with a high risk of a puncture. Let's see what he can do. We already know hards can make it to the end of the race. Jackson very nicely showed us that one. So car number 5 in the ART, looking to try and take home the win here. We know he has pace shown from previous seasons before. We saw his pace in the feature race. Can he get the win this time? Unfortunately, last time things did not go in his favour. But we'll definitely see if it can this time. So TTM Hayes is going to be starting P7 after he did get into P2 from the back of the grid. And Toby down into P8. Everyone behind Storm Twister has not scored a point this race, unfortunately. Let's see if they can get themselves on the F2 leaderboards. And that is going to be DJ almost overtaking a few drivers. Well, that's not too big of a worry under formation lap. Just throwing on everything we need as the drivers make their way to the grid. So thank you all for tuning in, all 9 viewers currently on. So here we go. 5 red lights. No one going to be racing yet, but here we go. They're revving up their engines now. Let's get ready for this one. For the sprint race here in Bahrain, and it's a start by Wyardi. It seems like a decent one, but not as good as Tippius Wheaton. Makes it up into P1 already off the start. Solo P2 looking to maybe get into that P1 contention. Looking to take that corner very sharpishly, and it looks like he's made it through quite safely. Most drivers have made it through. And here we go, Miles making up a huge amount of positions. Where has he came from? And it looks like a driver is off into the barriers back there. That's going to be mad. Miles has retired from the race as we were watching him. And that is a safety car already. That is a very, very quick safety car. Toby. No wing damage. It just seems he is at the back of the grid for some reason. I don't know if he chose to take it slowly or he did have a bit of a spin. But he is down into P14 at the moment. I think the FIA will have to have a bit of an investigation with Miles, see if there's any way to make his internet a bit better than it currently is now, because that is kind of an unfortunate retirement when we only saw him teleport into another car. So we're going to have to try and get that sorted with him, unfortunately. Mab did not get any wing damage. It doesn't look like any driver did get wing damage apart from the unfortunate retirement of Miles. Well, it seems every other car is fine by the looks of things. Now, is anyone going to pit for the medium compound? I don't think they will. If anyone to pit, I don't think Solo will either. This is just going to help him confirm that his mediums will make it to the end of the race. If you're at the back of the grid, there's no reason to not to pit. That's the only thing, so I wouldn't blame Mab or Toby if they go into the pit lane for the medium compound. Mab kind of pretending he was going into the pit lane then, I couldn't work it out for myself. But he has stayed out, so every driver has stayed out. Seems like the safety car was only called out for Miles's uni being sat in the middle of the track there, so very unfortunate by him, like I said, but not too sure what happened there. But we do love a good crash in the commentator's booth, despite it might not being that entertaining. I think I'm back now, yep. Unplugged the microphone in the commentary booth. Never a good idea to do, so we won't be doing that again. Right. So Tipius Wheat is just behind the safety car. Everyone has got up, so the safety car might be going in this lap. So, and don't forget, this season in Formula 1 we might even have an Aston Martin safety car. So that will be definitely interesting. Bit of a change rather than the Mercedes branded safety car all the time. So we'll see how that goes. Because I, for one, I'm very excited to see how Aston Martin do in F1 2021. So it looks like the prediction was right. The safety car will go another lap here around Sakir. So that driver going into the pit lane, there's Wayardi. These drivers pretending to go into the pit lane, they're really catching me off guard today. As the safety car will be going one more lap around here. Igor has left the session, so we're going to get him in ASAP whilst we can. I think it was FZR Igor. We got a bit of time just to try and get him in. Let's just quickly see if that's him. Yes, it looks like it is. And I've done the same thing again. FZR Igor. There we go. So we should be able to get him an invite as quickly as possible. Igor getting a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag, so I'm sure he will be able to get that one removed by the stewards. Due to this is his AI car overtaking other cars on the grid now, which is never good to see. This is what we hope EA can fix for F1 2021, or maybe implement something to stop these bugs constantly happening. So the safety car will be going in this lap. Or should be anyway. So let's see Tippiest Wheat try to get away from the rest of the pack. Wayardi behind him. Solo has somehow fallen down some positions. I don't know how people are moving under the safety car, but I guess that just happens. Some people overtake when it says someone's allowing the pass, and I think that is what tends to happen, which is never what you should do. It's 5-second time penalty for Wispy Jaguar now, so I'm assuming both of these will be able to get their time penalties removed. So when is Wheat going to go for it? He's not gone for it yet. He's still only revving up the engine. A few time penalties are being dished out, and there he goes. He's chosen to go now. Wayardi hasn't got a bad start at all. He looks to be safe from James. But is James safe from his teammate? It seems that way as Storm is side by side with Solo. James looking to the inside. Very, very late call, and that's going to cost him a position there to Storm. Storm has moved up a position against both of those drivers, now currently in P3. Here he comes. Can he manage to hold that against James? It doesn't look like he can, because here comes TTM Hayes as well. Looking to the outside line. Storm is going to have to really get his shoulders out here to force himself back up into P4. James up into P3. Just looking across the grid, that looks like F9 Lewis looking to get past Solo. Solo's had a very bad safety car restart. So that's Hayes. Hayes being pushed by Lewis. It looks like he did have a snap in the rear end, and Lewis has just caught him. Hayes going into the back of Lewis there, but it looks like he's going to get the overtake maybe done. No, he's going to... I think he might have pulled out of that one. Good sportsmanship if he did choose to after running into the back of him. Is Solo going to look to the inside? He did have a slight peak, but there's going to be no move happening there. The Storm is holding on well. Wayardi is under pressure by James. James was looking around the outside there. A very bold move if he could get that one done. And Wayardi's round. Wayardi's lost it. He is round. And that is going to be no damage for the ART driver, but he is down into P12, P13, and if he's lucky, he will manage to hold P13, but it's not going to happen. He's going to be down into P14 now. That's Tippiest Wheat setting the fastest lap in the race. So far, we have some of them new drivers that have never been on the podium before in podium contention. Apart from Storm, who has managed to get onto the podium. Now James is going to want to be defending this for his life. And Wheat is going to be extremely happy if they do fight, because he's already got a 2-second gap to the drivers behind. Looking at Hayes though, he's looking to make a move on me. Wadey looking to the outside line. Wadey is going to have to give him the space. He has got his nose round there. And he's not going to be able to get the move done, as he has a bit of a slight twitch with his rear end, as we saw Jackson just mirror that behind him. So looking back, Storm still trying to get the move done on James. Not happening so far. Toby's moved up 2 places from the start. DJ has managed to get into the points. Let's see if he can maybe get past his teammate, or is there going to be some team orders going on here? I'm not sure. Never sure if team orders going on myself, because half the time they're either fighting or they're letting each other through. And that is someone round. That is Mab. Mab is round for the 2nd time in this sprint race. We saw him round on the exit of turn 2. And now he's round at the very, very hard braking zone. Solo has caught up to Storm though. He's just set the fastest sector 2 I've caught. And that is him on the medium. So he should really have the pace over the drivers ahead of him at the moment. So let's see if he can maybe get up into P3. And it would be very interesting to see a 2-3 from Prima. But Storm is the one thing standing in their way. And we do know he likes his podium, so he's going to really try and hold on to that one as they go Solo, setting the fastest lap of the race so far. He's not going to look for a move, but now DRS is activated for all the drivers on the grid, as long as you're within a second. And there goes Toby. Round the outside. Very, very strong move by him. And his teammate is going to just push his way through as well. And that is contact. Lewis is around. And I reckon that will definitely be taken to the stewards there. It didn't seem like much room was left by DJ. And I reckon that one will be taken to the stewards. But this is a very bad outing for ART at the moment and High Tech. As we were meant to have Joshua KJ here, but he didn't manage to join the session. I don't know what happened there. But invites were dispatched to everyone who requested one. But enough of that for now, because Storm looking to get past James. James does not have the DRS. Storm in the DRS and the slipstream. But he's also got to think not to be too risky, because the other Primo behind him will not waste any time in grabbing him for another position in this race. So just looking around the grid, Wayardi very close to the back of Jaguar, just in front of him. Well, these three drivers are the main spotlight at the moment, as all three of them are fighting for podium positions. So they're all going to have DRS on James. And James isn't going to have much to defend with. In fact, he's going to have nothing to defend with, because there goes Solo. Solo's gone sailing past Storm. Storm must have had a twitchy rear end or something, because he has been overtaken easily by Solo. But Storm's going to come fighting back, and he's dived both of them. Has Storm run wide though? Yes, he has. He's run massively wide. And that's going to maybe even compromise him to Toby. Igor getting past DJ. DJ is off track. And that is going to be him moving up into P6 in the Campos car. So very, very intense racing we're noticing here. But only one driver is going to win on it. At the moment, it looks like Tipius Wheat is going to. As James and Solo are both in podium positions. Now, what is going to happen down at Prima this time? Solo on the faster tyres at the moment, but they're soon going to go off. Is there any point in him overtaking, or is he just... Are these two going to fight again? I mean, they gave us a good show last time, but it did end up in a bit of a disaster for Prima. DJ looking to make up some more places. But our main focus now is the smaller gaps, and it does look like the smallest is DJ, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make any move coming around here. Looking a bit down the grid, that is Wayardi. Did get past Jaguar in the end, it does look like. So Solo currently running P3. He's going to have DRS on his teammates. Tom's going to have DRS on him. Toby's going to have DRS on him. And Igor unfortunately missing out. But DJ and Wadey didn't, as they're going to be hunting him down. So we'll see if there's any moves into turn 1. Here comes Solo. No move. He's going to try and take a wide line to try and generate a bit more speed. Toby has gone for a dive. Storm is lost. What has happened to Storm there? Doesn't look like any damage, but he seems to manage to run wide. I'm not too sure what happened there. But actually, he is missing an end plate. That is some major damage. If it's not even just a little chip in this end plate, the whole end plate is missing. So that is very unfortunate for him. And that is Jackson round again. And that is going to be him dropping down into P14. Very unfortunate for him. Solo still looking to try and get that position on his teammate. He did get a really good exit this time. Could this be the chance to finally get past him? He's looking to the inside line. James is going to have to give him the room. But it is a tight squeeze. Very, very lucky not to have contact. But if they're not careful, Toby's going to come and grab them both. And that is Jackson out of this race. And that looked like an intentional retirement, which will definitely be punished by the stewards. And that's VSC, so it's not a full safety car. Remember, in the sprint race, you do not need to pit, so it is just running these tyres to the end of the race. And James will be breathing a sigh of relief right now, because he did not have any defense this time down here. Well, maybe Solo will be breathing as well, because Toby is right behind him. He won the feature race Is he looking to get a podium in the sprint race? It most certainly looks that way. So just waiting for this VSC to end. Jackson's car has been collected and we're back to green flag racing here. DJ still behind Igor, just having a look across the grid, and that is Solo running really wide. Toby's looking for the move, and that is contact between both of them. That looks like he did force Toby wide there. But it did look like a bit of a connection situation, so I'm not too sure how that'll be treated by the stewards. DJ still looking to get past Igor, but he's got the DRS on Toby now, which is supporting him. And now Solo can focus all his attention on James. Toby is cornering really well. How has he caught that much through those corners? He's all over the back of Solo. He's showing some great pace. And here he comes in the race labs, looking to the outside line. He's transparent for some reason with that car, and he has fully lost the car. He's heading straight for the wall. And that is Toby out of this race. What has happened there? I don't think that we'll have to see Solo's point of view, but it looks like Toby was transparent for us. But I'm not too sure what has happened there. It's no VSC, so green flag across the rest of the track. They've recovered Toby's car very quickly. And that is the race labs of DJ really forcing me Wadey to the inside. And he doesn't care. He's gone for the move anyway. But there goes DJ. Nice little cutback. Wadey having to run across the gravel a bit. Storm showing no signs of letting off the throttle as he's all over the back of the Dams driver. Looking to the inside line. He's going to go for the move. It's very, very late. He's had to cut the corner a bit. And he's running to the side pod of that Dams car. Solo looking to make up a few, well, when I say a few more, he's been behind his teammate for a long time now. Igor now has clean air to work with. Now Toby is unfortunately out of this race. So let's see what he can salvage from this race. Let's quickly have a look at the penalties. He does have a 5-second, which is never great at all as he's looking at Solo. Now if this happens again, we're going to have to assume it's Solo's connection, so he will be held reliable for what happened to Toby. Solo is going to have DRS assistance, but it doesn't look like it's going to do much as Igor runs into the back of him, which has compromised his run massively, and he is not going to be able to get the move done on Solo this time round. As we're on the penultimate lap of the race so far, car number 9, the Campos of Tippiest Wheat, is on an absolute charge with a 3-second gap almost to the cars behind him. But Solo and James look like these two could be on the podium as they don't have penalties, but the drivers behind them do. But so far it's a contention for P5 that we should be looking at, but Igor is also on the back of Solo as he sets the fastest sector 1. Throwing it into this corner, no, he's going to stay behind him for now. Miwady looking to try and get DJ. Storm a bit too far behind to make anything happen, and that's yellow flags. Who has spun? It's Igor. Igor's round. Igor has spun around after being in contention for the podium. Now we're going to have a quick look at that back because it does look like it could have been in contact with Solo. We did see him a 10th, literally within a 10th of him. But Solo, I would say he is under investigation at the moment. Very unfortunately for him, yes, I would say he is under investigation. Here's Wadey chasing down DJ Perks. Both of them have 3-second time penalties. And Storm looking to the inside of DJ as well. Can he get the move done? That is an absolutely amazing dive bomb. But DJ is going to come straight back at him with the DRS. Storm's going to have DRS as well. Wadey's going to have nothing to defend with. DJ's the one in the slipstream. Storm is not. So this is going to be supporting DJ a bit. Are we going to make it 3 wide into turn 1? We're about to find out. And it looks like they have. Storm looking to the outside line. Running to the back of the DJ there. And Wadey looks like he's going to come out of this one on top. And yes, he is. DJ literally pushing him through that turn 1. Turn 2 and turn 3, but here we come, turn 4. DJ looking to the inside line, looking to finally get this position off Wadey, trying to get into P4 in this race, and he's moved up into it, as we've seen by the timing tower, but it looks like Wadey's still trying to keep it on the outside line. Now he's got the inside line for the next corner. Can he keep it? It doesn't look like he will be able to, but DJ's run wide. Wadey's still looking to the outside line, and here comes TTM Hayes getting involved on this action. Absolutely great racing from B-Slot. And here comes Wadey. Wadey's been punted. Who has punted Wadey there? None of the drivers have damage, but Wadey has been punted off the track. And Storm was missing an end plate anyway, but it could have been Storm just missing his braking point with that end plate missing. But I don't know, because here comes TTM Hayes. He was looking to the inside. He's on the curb. That is not the place you want to be. And here they come coming towards the final corner now in this race. We're going to have to quickly go see Tipiest Wheat cross the line for the win here in Bahrain for Campos. James Petty comes home in P2. Solo P3. DJ looks like he's going to try and get P4, but Storm's going to take that off him with a time penalty. So that is going to be P4 for Storm, P5 for DJ, P6 for Hayes. Waiardi comes P7, Wadey P8, rounding off the points. Waiardi grabs the fastest lap of the race on that final lap. And that is before stewards' decisions, keep in mind. Because there was a few contacts with Solo, with some of the faster drivers. So I would not be surprised if there are a few penalties that will be rolled out. But we'll most certainly have a look at that one. So very, very good race. Congratulations to Tipius Wheat. He's had an absolutely fantastic drive here today. But what a race, an absolute thriller towards the end. Bit of a slow middle section in that sprint race, but ultimately a very, very decent race. So very, very strong by all those drivers. Don't know what just happened there. And we got some Go Prills supporters in the chat. Prills does not race till tomorrow. Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. We know you do like a bit of Prills. So here is your final results for the sprint race. Tibius Wheat goes and takes P1. Very good drive by him. James Petty P2 and Solo P3. An absolutely great outing by the Prima team. Here's your results for the weekend. Has it updated? Yes, it has. James Petty is second place in the championship right now. 24 points. He is 1 point behind the leader. And Hayes is still very much in contention despite a few crashes along the way. But absolutely great racing by some of these drivers. And I hope to see you all in the next one. If you all want to just stay in the chat for now, as we're going to raid someone in the Formula 1 community. Just to give something back to the F1 community. Okay, so thank you all for watching and see you tomorrow for the PC League in TFR, which will be commentated by Biggles, and then we also have the F1 League in Xbox, which will be commentated by DJ. So we hope to see you all there. Thank you all for watching, and we're going to go and raid someone right now.